Hi, welcome everybody. This is Julie. It's a weekend training. This is a new training. Okay, so we have some updates from the training that we ran through the week. Now, if you do watch this training on Tuesday or Thursday this coming week, it is a replay of what we're doing right now. Okay, just to let you know about that. Okay, let's get started now. One-time joining cost of $75 for Wheels of Fortune. You're now able to activate your position using Alert Pay or Solid Trust Pay. Credit debit card payments are coming soon. They're not there yet, but they will be in the near future. There's a button in your back office. This is both for pre-registered members and for Cashline members, so you can click there to upgrade and activate your position. If your downline activates before you, it does not matter. We've got that covered. However, if you do not activate by the cutoff date, which is the last day of February, which this is a leap year, so February 29th, then you will lose any of your downlines who have activated, because at that time we'll be placing all members on the wheels. You do have time to do this. You still got like 13 days, but please don't leave it to the last minute. We won't be extending the cutoff because this would not be fair to people who are ready and waiting to start earning. So again, you've got the option of Alert Pay and Solid Trust Pay. Right at this point in time, you cannot use a credit or debit card because that's not ready. We hope to have it ready by launch, but don't rely on it, please. If you don't have an account with one of the processors, go to solidtrustpay.com or alertpay.com and just open a personal account there. Now, you cannot fund Alert Pay with a credit or debit card, but you can fund Solid Trust Pay with a credit or debit card. And you can do that even before you verified your Solid Trust Pay account. But that process still does take maybe 2 to 3 days if it's a brand new Solid Trust Pay account. So again, don't leave it till the last day, or you may find out that you will not be able to activate in time. If this happens, you would actually have to join as a member after launch. Anyone who had joined and activated in your downline previous to that in pre-launch, you would lose them, I'm afraid. Okay, there's just no way around this. So we're giving you, we've been saying this now for over a week, in fact almost 2 weeks, and even if you're just joining now, then you still have loads of time. Somebody who joined on the last day in pre-launch, say the 29th, would have to join and activate their position on that day. Okay, so I hope that is really, really clear. When you go to one of these places, Solid Trust Pay or Alert Pay, it's always slightly different whichever country you're in. So, again, just check out the options for your country. For example, it's easy to fund Alert Pay from the UK usually by online banking, and it's almost instant. But if you're in, say, Australia, for example, it's difficult, so therefore STP might be a better option. So again, it depends on your country. So if you haven't got the account already, have a look at them and see which is best for you. Okay, let's take a look at the Wheels of Fortune plan and how this works. The first thing to remember is if you're a Cashlines member, do not compare this with Cashlines because there is no similarities whatsoever, right? So you can't compare the two. In Wheels of Fortune, there are 2 wheels, a mini wheel and a big wheel. Now, the big wheel is where the money is, and this is where you earn instant payments of $225. These are our commission payments, $225. We don't have step-ups to higher commissions, but you're going to see in a moment how you can earn those 225s over and over and over again, multiple times, and there's no limit on how many times you can do that. Now, everyone starts off in a mini wheel. So when you first become a Wheels of Fortune member, you are placed on a mini wheel following your sponsor. Okay, so mini wheels complete by new members coming on board in Wheels of Fortune, but they also complete by members coming from the big wheel, and you'll see how that works in a moment as well. So when the mini wheels complete, so you have a mini wheel, you're sitting at the top of your mini wheel. When it completes with 2 other spots, 2 positions have filled that, you will now cycle out of that mini wheel and you will enter a big wheel following your sponsor. Now, big wheels complete by entries from the mini wheel as we've just seen, but also from re-entries from the big wheel as well. Now, when you cycle a big wheel, so in other words, your big wheel is complete. Big wheel has 4 spots, right? So there's you and there's 4 empty spots there waiting to be filled. When they fill, you will cycle from that big wheel. You'll be instantly paid $225 into your back office, which you can withdraw that very day, because this is the policy we've always had here over the last year. While we've been running cash lines, we pay daily and we don't make people wait for the money. So if you earn money in any given day, you can withdraw it that day. But when you cycle here on this big wheel, this is important. You have a double re-entry. So you're going to re-enter a mini wheel and you're going to re-enter a big wheel as well. This double re-entry is one of the keys to the fast movement of the system, because one position suddenly becomes 2. Now, once you cycled that big wheel that first time around, and you've been paid that first $225, you've now been given 2 new positions. One's gone to a mini wheel and one's gone to a big wheel. We call these your clone positions. Your original position is now gone. So 1 position has become 2, but the original one is gone. So U2 is your first clone position, and that's going to go to a big wheel. So U2 now is on another big wheel, ready to earn $225 again. U3 has gone to a mini wheel, and when U3 cycles that mini wheel, goes back onto a big wheel, ready to earn another $225. Now, there's no limit to how many clone positions you can have in the system. So your original position becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on and so on. So you can ultimately have dozens and dozens and dozens of clone positions in the system. So this is where it becomes very, very powerful. Your clone positions, so as you cycle and you create 2 new clone positions, they become your direct downlines. So in other words, U3 and U2, your first 2 clone positions, U3 follows U2, and then U4 and U5, which would be your 4th and 5th clone positions after another cycle, follows U3 and so on. So your clone positions are following you because they are you in effect, right? Now, you might have to watch this 2 or 3 times to get it. Once it clicks into place, you're going to see how powerful it is. Now, your personally referred members are also your direct downline. Okay, so if you've referred somebody called Jill, then she's your direct downline, as well as your clones. Your clones will follow them as well. So here we have a system where when a member or one of their clones cycles that big wheel and earns $225, those new re-entries are actually going to start following their downline. This is a kind of unique twist to the system, and what it does, it has a knock-on effect right through the system to create more cycles. It means more people are earning. Now, your clones can actually complete your own wheels. And once you start to cycle a few times and you've got these clone positions cycling, from the big wheel back onto another big wheel, from the mini wheel onto big wheel, they can be completing your own wheels as well. So you could actually have a wheel completed entirely by your own clone positions. And of course, they have their own wheels as well. So it becomes very exciting. Here's an example. Let's say you have one of your clone positions, so U something, we'll call it UX, at the top of a wheel waiting to cycle. And now another 2 clone positions come along, say we'll call them UA and UB, and fill the spots on the wheel of UX. Right, to cycle UX, but UA and UB also have their own wheels, meaning of course you have multiple wheels in the system. Now here's the great thing. In your back office at launch, you will be able to see the wheels of members who are potentially going to cycle on any of your wheels at any given time. So this could be your own clone positions that are potentially going to cycle onto one of your wheels, or it could be one of your downlines, or it could be one of your uplines actually, and you'll see that in a moment when we look at the Follow Me system in more detail. But you'll be able to see what's going on completely, you'll never be wondering, what's going to happen next to make me cycle kind of thing, because you'll be able to see it right there in your back office. Now, how does the system know which wheel to place you on and which wheels to place your clone positions on when you cycle? It goes on 2 criteria. First of all, time and date. So it looks for the wheels that have been oldest in the system, okay, so wheels that were created first and waiting longer to cycle. And second, it looks for the number of spots already completed, because the system is going to look for wheels with the least amount of spots left to fill. And the reason it does that is because the system is always trying to create a cycle. So we're trying to create more cycles all the time. Here's an example, okay? Wheel 1 was created on March the 10th at 12:23 p.m. and Wheel 2 was created on March the 10th at 12:24 p.m. So Wheel 1 is obviously older than Wheel 2. Both Wheel 1 and Wheel 2 have 1 empty spot left, meaning that they've got 1 spot to fill before they cycle. The system is going to place you on Wheel 1 in this instance because it was created first, and both Wheel 1 and Wheel 2 they're equally close to cycling. So it's going to choose Wheel 1 because Wheel 1 is older. But look at this example now, the second example. Wheel 1 was created on April 5th at 14:35 and Wheel 2 was created on April 5th at 14:36. So Wheel 1 is older. But Wheel 1 has 3 empty spots left and Wheel 2 only has 2 empty spots left. So in other words, Wheel 2 is closer to cycling. In this case, the system is going to place you on Wheel 2 because it's closer to completing, even though it was created after Wheel 1. So Wheel 1 is the oldest, but Wheel 2 is closest to cycling. The system is going to put you on Wheel 2. We always favor the wheels that are closer to cycling because that creates more cycles and has a whole knock-on effect right through the system. We're accelerating wheels and therefore creating more cycles. And maximum cycling means maximum profits. Lots of 225s being earned throughout the system. Okay, let's take a look at the follow me system in detail. Okay, now if you're lost here, don't worry. Just this replay will be emailed to your inbox in about an hour after the end of the presentation, so you can watch it again. Okay, now if you have not watched an actual opportunity presentation before watching this training, then you will be lost because this is designed to be watched after you have watched the opportunity presentation. Right, the follow me system. When you sponsor a new Wheels of Fortune member, they will follow you onto your mini wheel. What happens though if you have no mini wheel in the system at that time? Because this is possible. So here's an example. You join and you sponsor 4 people right away. So you have cycled. You do cycle there, obviously, onto the big wheel from the mini wheel, but you have not had chance to cycle off the big wheel and create 2 new clone positions. So in other words, you do not have a mini wheel at this stage because you've cycled with your first 2 members and then you've got another 2. What happens to them? They will attach to the mini wheels of your downline. And then when they cycle, they will follow you onto the big wheel, right? So your personally sponsored members will always follow you. If you have no mini wheel, they will attach to the mini wheel of your downline. And then when they cycle themselves on the mini wheel, they're going to follow you onto one of your big wheels. So that your newly created clone positions will search for wheels belonging to your direct downlines. Okay, so this is a thing to remember this. When you cycle, you've got newly created 2 new clone positions. They're going to search for wheels belonging to your direct downlines, and your direct downlines include your own clones. They're going to attach to a wheel going by the criteria we talked about before. First, time and date, and second, wheels closest to completion. Always favoring wheels closest to completion. Okay, so let me go back here a second. The first thing is, your newly sponsored members will always follow you onto a mini wheel. If you don't have a mini wheel of your own, they will go to a downline's mini wheel And then when that newly sponsored member cycles the mini wheel themselves, they will go to your big wheel. Secondly, your newly created clone positions, when you cycle that big wheel and you have new clone positions, they're going to search for wheels belonging to your direct downlines. This could be people like you've referred or your own clones, because they are also your direct downlines. And I just want to make this really, really clear. So the 3 rules of the Follow Me system. 1, your personal referrals, your new personal referrals, always follow you by attaching to one of your mini wheels. If you or your clones have no mini wheels, so if you have no mini wheels at all in the system, the newly sponsored person, he or she attaches to a mini wheel of your downline, and then he or she attaches to one of your big wheels when he or she cycles from the mini wheel. Rule 2. When you or one of your clones cycles from the big wheel, you will follow your direct downline, which also includes your clones. And Rule 3. When one of your direct downlines or their clones cycles from the mini wheel, they will follow you on to one of your big wheels. Okay, and again, you can watch this over again till you get it into your head. People often ask about strategy for, when they're building a home-based opportunity of this type. They ask, what's the best strategy? Is the best strategy to keep my personal referrals to myself, or is the best strategy to give them away to other people in my downline? Generally, there's only one strategy that ever truly works in the long term, and that is to sponsor your direct team members to yourself and then work with those who want to work. So generally, giving away your referrals to other people in your downline in order to help them cycle in the immediate kind of like time, to help them cycle now, in the long term does not pay off under normal circumstances. I've never really seen it actually pay off. Okay, and when you think about it, if you do that, you're causing a couple of problems. The first problem is that you are by giving away people to people, you are fostering the mindset that they don't have to do any work themselves. And also, if you're doing like a team build, then you get to a stage where you can't actually, it's impossible to sustain. So, it doesn't normally work. The only exception to that could be when a team comes in that's already structured, and they want to maintain the line of sponsorship. So perhaps they've been in a previous program and they have a line of sponsorship already structured, and they want to come in that way, right? So that obviously is something for people to decide for themselves. Now at launch, there'll be everything you need in order to take massive action if you wish to do so. That being said, now is a great time to put yourself ahead of the game by pre-building. Our new website is coming, but not until closer to the launch. Credit and debit card payments are coming, but they are not there yet. So, sorry guys. So, use the tools available to you right now. Your Wheels of Fortune page on your website. That's the Wheels of Fortune page on the front of your website. Okay, so you can send your people directly to there. The webinars, now we're running these opportunity webinars Monday to Friday, 5 times a day. If you don't take advantage of them, you're going to be missing out on a very powerful team building tool. And if you don't use them, probably your referred members won't either. So it's really up to you to encourage your your referrals to use the webinars as well, by making sure that they are clicking on the link and registering for a webinar. So if you keep an eye on your emails and the news section on your website, you're not going to miss anything at all. You will always know when these webinars are are on. You will always know how to register for them. You will know which link to send on to people so they can register too, etc., etc. And we've got some stuff already there in the back office as well that you can use for Wheels of Fortune. Okay, now we've got some common questions here. Right now, so I just had to skip back there because I've got the slides in the wrong order. I apologize. Common questions that have been coming in over the week since we did our training last weekend, because people were using the little box there to the right and submitting a question to me. And, a few common questions. The first one is, do existing Cashlines members still need to pay to be part of Wheels of Fortune? Yes, because Wheels of Fortune is a different program. It is totally separate from Cashlines, right? We are currently using your Cashlines website to pre-register people, but it is not the same program. They are not linked in any way, shape, or form. Right? The only link that current Cashlines members have to Wheels of Fortune is that in their back office, that they don't have to pre-register. In their back office at the moment, they have an upgrade link. They can click on there, right? And that actually makes sure they maintain their line of sponsorship in Cashlines. And if the sponsor doesn't upgrade, they just roll upline until the next available upline who has activated their position in Wheels of Fortune. So then the question is, what about Cashlines? Cashlines remains exactly as it is now. It's not being taken away, and anyone who wants to continue with the Cashlines plan can do so. And in the future, it's possible that Cashlines will be given a makeover. At the moment, all our focus and attention here is on Wheels of Fortune because we want it perfect. Well, there's no system that's perfect, okay, and nothing's perfect, but we want it as perfect as is possible. Another common question, what happens if I do not sponsor anyone? Will I still earn money? If you don't sponsor anyone, you're relying on others to do that work for you. However, it is possible to earn without any referrals, but there's no guarantees at all. The system has been designed to create maximum profits for members, and it does help those who find it difficult to build a team, because the re-entries from the big wheel go downline as opposed to upline. This does of course have a knock-on effect upline too, but it also helps those who may otherwise never cycle. However, remember that when you get involved with a home-based business, it is a business and it's your business. So, you wouldn't have a business and expect not to have to work it. We will have tools and resources to help you at launch. But for now, as we say, use the tools that we have ready for you, which is, just nothing spectacular, but the webinars and the Wheels of Fortune page on your website. And then, at launch, we will have some really good stuff in there in the back office for you to help people who do find it difficult. Even people who don't find it difficult, you're going to find these tools and resources are going to be very, very, very useful for you. So with that, thank you very much for attending the Wheels of Fortune training. And as I say, we're just going to leave this room open now for a few minutes, because this allows you, if you have a question that was not answered here, you can submit it to the right there, and it will come to me, and I will email the question back to you. Now, again, if your question was answered but you can't remember, just wait for the replay. It'll be in your inbox in about an hour or less, and then you can watch through the replay again. All right, we're going to be going quiet now, but the room is open for a few minutes for anyone who wants to submit a question to me. Thank you very, very much. Enjoy the rest of your day or your evening, and bye for now.